1. The Ghost. One night at Elsinore Castle in Denmark, 2 guards see a ghost.
It looks like King Hamlet.
But it can't be! King Hamlet is dead!
We must tell Horatio, Prince Hamlet's friend. Perhaps the ghost wants to give a message to the prince.
The next night, Horatio stays to watch with the guards. The ghost appears again. It is wearing the same armor as the old king.
What do you want? Speak to us.
It refuses to speak.
I shall tell the prince. Perhaps the ghost will speak to him.
This is a bad sign. Something sinister is happening in Denmark.
Prince Hamlet is very sad. His father, the king, is dead. Gertrude, his mother, has married Claudius, his father's brother. Claudius has become the new king. Hamlet does not like his uncle. It is time to think about the future. I shall be a father to you, and you will be king after me, Hamlet.
Stay here with us. Do not go back to university. We love you, Hamlet.
I shall obey you, madam. My father was a better man than Claudius. My mother was weak and foolish to marry my uncle.
Horatio comes to tell Hamlet about the ghost. Horatio has studied for many years with the prince at university. He is Hamlet's best friend, and the prince trusts him completely.
I hate this place, Horatio. My uncle and my mother are so happy. How can they forget my father so soon?
My lord, I saw your father last night.
What do you mean?
Come to the castle walls at midnight, of the cliff. Then you'll understand.
Hamlet sees the ghost of his father. It signals him to follow.
I am your father's spirit. If you ever loved me, revenge my murder.
Murder?
My wife Gertrude was unfaithful to me. My brother Claudius murdered me. While I was sleeping in my garden, he poured poison in my ear. The sun is rising. I must go. Hamlet, remember me.
Hamlet does not know what to do. Perhaps the ghost is telling lies.
I shall pretend to be mad. Nobody will pay attention to a poor, crazy prince. I shall investigate my father's death. If the ghost's story is true, I shall kill my uncle.
So Hamlet, who was very intelligent, began to play the part of a madman. He did strange things, and he talked in a crazy way. He often said things with a hidden meaning, which only he understood. The people believed that Hamlet was mad, and they hoped that he would soon get better. The queen was very worried, because she loved her son. Only Horatio and the guards knew the secret of Hamlet's meeting with the ghost.
2. Hamlet and Ophelia. Ophelia lives at the castle. She has a brother, Laertes, who is studying in Paris. Ophelia is in love with Hamlet. One day, while she is sewing, Hamlet comes to her room. Later, she tells her father, Polonius, a foolish old lord, about Hamlet's visit.
He looked so sad. He was only half dressed. He stared at me, and then he left, without saying a word.
Is he mad for your love?
I don't know, but I think so.
I must tell the king and queen.
Polonius trusts Claudius and Gertrude. He has no idea that Claudius is a murderer, or that Gertrude has been unfaithful to King Hamlet.
Hamlet's love for my daughter has made him mad.
That is possible, but how can we know for certain?
We shall hide while Hamlet and Ophelia are talking. We shall listen to their conversation and discover the truth. You will see that I am right.
Polonius gives instructions to Ophelia. He wants her to walk up and down the castle hall, reading her prayer book.
Ophelia, you must help us find out the truth about Prince Hamlet's madness.
I shall obey you, Father.
Quickly, here he comes. Pretend that you are reading.
Hamlet is thinking deeply. He wants to escape from his problems by committing suicide. His mind is full of questions.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Is it better to live or die? But what happens after we die? Nobody knows. I am stupid. I must stop thinking and do something. I must discover the truth. But look, here comes Ophelia. Why is she standing there? Is it a trap?
The prince is angry with Ophelia because he realizes that she is a spy for her father Polonius and King Claudius.
I loved you once.
I believed so.
No, I never loved you. All women are stupid. They paint their faces and talk foolishly. Nobody should get married. Go away to a nunnery.
The king does not believe that love is the reason for Hamlet's madness. He is very suspicious. Perhaps Hamlet knows my secret. We must watch him carefully. It is dangerous when a prince is mad.
Poor Hamlet. Everybody admired him before. He was the perfect prince. Now, his mind is ruined. Help him, sweet heavens.
Hamlet enjoyed making fun of Polonius. One day, the prince was reading a book when he met the foolish old lord. What are you reading?
Words, words, words.
But what is the book about?
It's full of lies. The writer says that old men are foolish, weak, and have grey hair. Can you see that cloud, Polonius?
Yes, my lord.
It looks like a camel,
doesn't it?
Yes, my lord.
No, I think it looks like a weasel.
Yes, my lord.
Or perhaps it looks like a whale.
Yes, my lord.
Goodbye, you foolish old man.
Three. The play. Two university friends come to visit Hamlet. Their names are Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. At first Hamlet is very pleased to see them, but they ask a lot of questions and he becomes suspicious.
Why are you behaving so strangely?
What's the matter with you?
Tell us what you are thinking about. We are your friends.
I think the king has sent them. They are spying on me. I shall not tell them anything. I cannot trust anyone except Horatio.
Some travelling actors arrive at Elsinore. Hamlet loves the theatre, and he greets them like old friends.
Welcome to Elsinore.
We have come to perform a play for the king and queen.
That gives me an idea, Horatio. I shall put some extra words in their play. I shall put the ghost's story on the stage.
That night, Claudius and Gertrude watch the play. There are three characters: the player king, the player queen, and Lucianus, the queen's lover, the murderer.
I shall always love you.
But if I die, you will marry again.
No, never.
Do you like the play, Mother?
The lady speaks too much about love.
All the court of Denmark watch the play. Ophelia, Polonius, Horatio, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are all there. But nobody knows the secret of King Hamlet's death, except Claudius and Hamlet. On the stage, while the player king is sleeping, the murderer pours poison in his ear. Hamlet watches Claudius's face carefully.
This is the ghost's story. If Claudius is afraid, I shall know he is guilty.
Suddenly, Claudius stands up and runs out of the court. Everybody follows him. The actors do not know what the problem is. Lights, lights, stop the play!
Did you see that, Horatio? The king is frightened. The ghost's story is true.
After the play, Claudius feels very guilty, so he goes to pray in the chapel. Hamlet finds him there. I want God to forgive me for my brother's murder. Perhaps, if I pray, he will help me.
It would be easy for me to kill him now. But if I kill him while he is praying, his soul will go to heaven. I want him to go to hell. I shall wait for another opportunity.
I cannot repent. God doesn't listen to my words.
It's good to see you again, my friends. Let me give you some advice for the play tonight. First of all, you shouldn't speak too loudly or too quietly. If the audience can't hear you, they won't be pleased. But if you shout, they won't like it. Secondly, you shouldn't move your hands too much. But it's important to speak clearly, so the audience will understand you. Next, remember to pay attention to the meaning of the words. Last of all, don't add any extra lines to the play, and don't change the writer's words. I'll repeat all that because it's important. First of all, don't speak too loudly or too quietly. Secondly, don't move your hands too much. Thirdly, you should speak clearly. Next, you should pay attention to the meaning of the words. Finally, don't add any extra lines or change the words of the play.
Four. Murder and Exile. It is the middle of the night, the time for witches and ghosts. Hamlet goes to see his mother in her bedroom. He does not know that someone is hiding behind the curtain and listening to everything.
Hamlet, why did you offend the king?
Mother, why did you betray my father? Don't move. I want to talk to you. I want to make you look into the mirror of your soul.
The queen is afraid of Hamlet, and she begins to scream. The spy behind the curtain shouts for help. Hamlet turns round quickly, and without thinking, kills the listener.
Are you going to murder me? Help! Help!
Help! Murder!
What's that? Is it a rat? Is it the king?
When Hamlet pulls back the curtain, he sees Polonius dead.
What have you done? You have murdered Polonius.
I thought it was the king. I'm sorry that I have killed this poor fool. But, Mother, I'm not as bad as you. You killed a king and married his brother.
What do you mean?
Suddenly the ghost appears in the room. He has come to remind Hamlet to take revenge before it is too late. Gertrude cannot see or hear him, so she thinks that Hamlet is crazy.
Hamlet, don't hurt your mother. Remember that you must kill Claudius. Don't waste time.
What is he looking at? He's mad. Oh, my poor son.
Can't you see him, Mother? Don't you pity him?
Hamlet, there is nothing there except the air.
The ghost disappears.
No, I'm not mad, Mother. Look at this portrait of my father. He was a good, brave, handsome man. Remember him and stay away from Claudius.
I will, sweet Hamlet.
But as soon as Claudius kisses you, you will forget everything and tell him my secrets.
No, I promise not to betray you.
I am glad, Mother. Now I must take away Polonius's body. Good night.
When Claudius hears that Hamlet has killed Polonius, he decides to send the prince away. Hamlet is dangerous. I shall send him to England. Perhaps he will recover from his madness in a different country. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, go with him and look after him. I shall send secret letters to the King of England. I shall tell the English to execute Hamlet as soon as he arrives. When he is dead, I shall be safe.
It was a long journey by sea to England. One night, Hamlet could not sleep because he was thinking about all his problems. He got out of bed and walked around the ship. While Rosencrantz and Guildenstern were sleeping, he stole Claudius's letter to the King of England. To his surprise, he read these orders. "As soon as Hamlet arrives, cut off his head." Hamlet quickly prepared another letter.
"Execute the people who bring you this letter,"
he wrote. He signed it, Claudius. Then he went back to his cabin and hid the original letter.
"When Rosencrantz and Guildenstern arrive in England,"
he thought,
"the English king will execute them. But how am I going to return to Denmark?"
The next morning, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern woke up without realizing that the letter had been changed.
(5) Suicide. Polonius' son Laertes returns to Denmark from Paris. He is very angry.
"Claudius, you have killed my father. I shall persuade the people to rebel against you. There will be a revolution."
No, Laertes, Hamlet is responsible for everything.
"But how did my father die? Why is it a secret?"
Be patient. When I have explained everything, you will understand. I am your friend. Ophelia comes to see Laertes. She loved Hamlet, but he killed her father. This has made her mad. She sings sad songs and gives flowers to everyone she meets.
"What is the matter with my sister?"
She has lost her mind, poor girl.
He is dead, lady. He is dead. He will never come again. His beard was as white as snow. He is gone. He is gone. Love, remember me.
Do you see this? Oh, God!
A sailor brings a letter to Horatio. When he opens it, he discovers that it is from Hamlet.
Horatio, I am in Denmark. Some pirates attacked our ship. While everybody was fighting, I jumped onto their ship. I paid them, and they brought me home to Denmark. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern have continued to England. I shall tell you more about them when I see you. Meet me in the graveyard. Hamlet.
I shall go to him immediately. I am glad he is safe.
Claudius also receives a letter from Hamlet. He has a private conversation with Laertes.
But why didn't you put Hamlet in prison?
He is very popular with the people. It was impossible to punish him. The best thing was to send him to England.
He has killed my father and driven my sister out of her mind. I would do anything to get my revenge.
This letter is from Hamlet. He is back in Denmark.
I'm glad. I will kill him.
I have a better plan. The Queen comes in.
I have bad news, Laertes. Ophelia is dead. She wanted to put flowers on the willow tree. While she was climbing, she slipped and fell into the river. She floated there, singing. Then she drowned.
Was it suicide?
Nobody knows. Perhaps it was an accident. Oh, sweet Ophelia. I hoped she would marry Hamlet. Come, let us go and bury her.
Now Hamlet has killed my father and my sister.
Hamlet meets Horatio in the graveyard. They see a gravedigger. He is preparing a new grave, and he has uncovered some old bones. Hamlet begins to talk about death.
Look at this skull, Horatio. It is Yorick's. He was the court jester. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. When I was a child, he carried me on his back. His jokes were the best. He cannot make anybody laugh now. Perhaps this skull belonged to a beautiful lady. She cannot paint her face now. Perhaps this skull belonged to a lawyer. He cannot show how clever he is now. Perhaps this skull belonged to a court gentleman. He cannot wear elegant clothes now.
There is a willow by the river. Its silver leaves shine in the glassy water. Ophelia walked there, picking the flowers to hang on the graceful branches of the tree. But as she was climbing up to the sky, a thin branch broke under her small feet, and she fell down into the weeping brook. Her dress spread wide, and, like a mermaid, she floated on the surface, singing old melodies. She was as happy as a creature of the water, but as her clothes grew heavy, they pulled her down to the dark bottom of the river, to muddy death.
Six. The rest is silence. While he is standing in the graveyard, Hamlet sees a procession approaching. It is Ophelia's funeral. The Queen throws flowers into the grave and says,
Sweets to the sweet.
Hamlet did not know that Ophelia was dead. He is shocked. He jumps into the grave and fights with Laertes.
You killed my father and my sister.
I loved Ophelia more than 40,000 brothers.
Laertes wants his revenge. He and Claudius decide how to kill Hamlet. You must challenge Hamlet to a fencing match. He loves this sport. He will certainly agree.
Yes, and I shall put poison on the tip of my sword. If I cut him, he will die.
And if this plan fails, I shall give Hamlet a poisoned drink. Hamlet accepts the challenge. He does not know about the poisoned sword. To him, the fight is just sport, something he enjoys.
I am sorry for your father's death, Laertes.
I accept your apology, Hamlet. Now, let's begin the fight.
Here is a drink for you, Hamlet, if you're thirsty. Good luck to you. I have bet 6 horses that you will win. Hamlet fights well and scores the first points. The queen is very happy. She picks up the cup of poison. Claudius tries to stop her drinking, but it is too late. No, Gertrude, do not drink!
I drink to Hamlet.
Laertes wounds Hamlet with the poisoned sword. Later in the confusion, they exchange swords, and Hamlet wounds Laertes. The poison enters their blood. Suddenly, the queen screams in pain. Laertes falls to the ground, and Hamlet begins to feel weak. The poison is working.
Help me! I am dying!
We are all going to die. The sword and the drink were poisoned. The king is to blame.
Then before I die, I shall have my revenge. This is for my father's murder.
Treason! Treason!
Hamlet is dying. Polonius, Ophelia, Laertes, Gertrude, and Claudius are all dead. It is time for a new beginning in Denmark.
I shall kill myself too.
No, Horatio. You must live. Tell the truth to the world after I am dead. Tell my story.
Good night, sweet prince. And flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.
Frailty, thy name is woman.
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Remember me.
One may smile and be a villain. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. To be or not to be, that is the question.
Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
Suit the action to the word to the action.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
How now? A rat? Dead for a ducat. Dead.
Thou turn'st my eyes into my very soul.
Sweet ladies, good night. Good night.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. There's a divinity that shapes our ends. The rest is silent.